It's called the world's greatest head massage.
I got tingles the moment you showed it to me.
Gavin and I have basically the same ASMR, what's that called?
ASMR.
Triggers.
We're about to fly halfway across the world to India for a 15-minute head rub.
Something happens that triggers your nerves and you feel it.
Hello! Welcome to the patch.
Hey, welcome to the patch.
You caught us mid-conversation. The patch brought to you today by Blue Apron and MeUndies.
And MeUndies.
There you go.
Which
we're joined today by
Ashley.
I'm drinking coffee and I'm Bernie.
Adam.
and Ryan.
Hey, share a little bit of that coffee.
Welcome to the
You want
patch.
some coffee? It's decaf, so you're not going to be
That's
really
fine.
happy about
That's
that.
fine. Honestly,
what's the
you know what?
point?
It's a
It's all placebo.
It's a placebo at that point. Yeah, like here's the thing: you get to the afternoon, you're like, I want coffee because coffee is delicious and we like it, but you actually don't want the caffeine because then you don't sleep. So what do?
Caffeine does nothing to me.
I like the way he said delicious as delicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
So it's
Who did the set decoration for the patch? Does anybody know?
I don't know why.
I just want, what?
That's a potion flask.
We have random props that we put
That's
out
a
here
potion
that
flask.
makes
Video
no
games
sense
have
whatsoever.
potion flasks.
I can put a stopper in style.
Listen,
There we
if
go.
anything, the rocks don't make sense.
Just like
I
It's
mean,
been here forever.
looked like regular
People like to
stopper
stack
to me.
things, right? That's
No
like
offense,
a game.
Ryan.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what has been discussed on the patch recently? Can I talk about Lego Star Wars?
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, so anybody else playing Lego Star Wars? Force Awakens, it came out. So I play this all the time with the boys, all the different Lego Star Wars games. In fact, it's always been a big debate in the family what account we're going to play it on because, the achievements in that. You said Jeremy's been playing it though, right?
Yeah, he's been playing the hell out of it.
So have you ever played a Lego Star Wars game before? It's like 200% it in for the achievements. You have to play through it like 3 times. And there's like a whole strategy that there's little nuances to the Lego Star Wars games as they come out. But there's this whole strategy to like how to maximize your time in there. Like there's these things that you can unlock that multiply the number of studs that you pick up and they stack. So if you get the 2x multiplier, then the 4x multiplier, then you're getting 8 times the amount of studs, which is what you use to buy everything in the game. And I have to teach my kids how to like not spend money on characters until we get these multipliers done. So it's really interesting because they've actually now reached a point where I'm obsolete. They're now playing together. So I have had to, this is so sad, I've had to download the game on my own and I'm playing it just so I can like talk to them about it. It's so sad.
Do you have any like specific character that you're playing as?
No, well, in Lego Star Wars, you kind of like start off with a set and then you unlock things. I'm actually not that far in. I'm only in through like the first 2 levels. So they added stuff like you need like groups. Like Leia can like bring a group of rebels with her and then they can do like a task together. Some of the Ewoks, if you're an Ewok, you can like gather up with the Ewoks and do those kinds of things. And there's a new thing in the game, at least for Lego Star Wars, where once you build something with the little kit, like all the little things on the ground, you build it, then you can smash it and build it again somewhere else. So like you can find other uses for the things and rebuild stuff.
That's cool.
The weird thing about it though is that loading it up for the first time, I've never seen this before. Load up Lego Star Wars, it goes through the developer's splash screen, and then it goes to a Disney slate, which is so weird to see a Disney slate on a Lego game. It just feels completely weird to me.
Yeah, and a Star Wars game.
I mean, is this the first one that's? Is
No.
this the first Lego
Battlefront
Star
had to
Wars
have
that's
Disney
come
on it,
out
right?
since?
Yep.
But
Like,
you,
the
you
first
didn't
Lego
really,
Star Wars?
You didn't really play Battlefront though, so is this like the first Star Wars game that you've encountered since it was purchased?
Yes.
No, because Infinity was out, right?
He hasn't played Infinity either.
All right, well,
There's no Lego Infinity, is there?
No, but there's Disney
There's-
Infinity, but it's Star Wars.
with Star
Star
Wars.
Wars characters.
Yeah.
No, okay, I got you. Yeah, and
Or
I'm sure
there-
Battlefront
or
probably has a Disney
there
logo in
was.
front of it.
Yeah.
Anybody play
that's
Battlefront
gone.
ever?
I did. I can't remember, honestly. It didn't really jump out
for
to
all
me.
the flack that Battlefront got, I actually enjoyed just like going through co-oping with Grace.
It was pretty. I mean,
yeah, like for visually, it looked awesome.
the
and
sound
like
design was amazing.
riding the speeders on Endor, perfect.
Well, I
Crashed
mean,
into
the-
many trees.
The criticism for Battlefront largely came from people who liked earlier entries in the franchise and wanted it to be that exact thing rather than kind of with a, Battlefield with a Star Wars twist.
Right. My paramount complaint was that there wasn't enough content to keep me there. All the unlockables were pretty generally boring.
I feel like they
You
were in
excited
kind of
about
a
the-
rough spot though, because it came out like so close to the movie, and it's like can't spoil stuff. Be excited because of movies and stuff, but like we can't really include the movie
Dude, it
stuff.
would be a gigantic pain in the ass to be a developer of a Star Wars game. I just can't imagine how tough that would be.
You know, back when this is so long ago, when I was working at Ubisoft, I actually did digital marketing on, oh God, it was some DS title where starring Twi'lek, where she was like stealing the Death Star plans. People were furious about the game, one, because it completely changed the canon. I mean,
Really?
I don't know that it was canon, but yeah, like it changed like who stole the Death Star plans. And it was this Twi'lek chick. But my favorite thing about the game was not the game, it's that something I got to do for digital marketing, and I got this through Lucas, and no one could believe it, was a build your own Death Star maker, like for online, and it would have all kinds of crazy stuff. Like you could put a roller coaster, you could put like a Ferris wheel on the outside of your Death Star, and you could paint it different colors.
Was it like a
It
sim
was
game or
awesome.
just a model?
No, it was just
Kerbal
like one of
space
those
program for Death Stars.
Yeah, but it was like a web thing. It was like, Flash was real big at the time, and so
Almost like a custom avatar kind of a thing.
yeah, it was
Okay.
like, you go and you build and you like select checkboxes and you have like a certain budget for your Death Star, so you can get this one super cool
Star
death
Tycoon.
laser, but then you can't really get anything else, or you can go for all the fun rides and just like compromise on the Star Killer powers or like whatever.
If there's one thing that the Empire really showed itself concerned with, it was budgetary things, right? I mean, it's
Right.
They
Let's
blow
build-
up 2 Death Stars and then a Death Planet.
Raise the taxes.
You know, I gotta say, I didn't realize until Ashley was kind of talking about it how much I wanted to play a Fallout Shelter style game, but for Death Stars. Like with
That'd be
different
super
rooms
fun, right?
And like run it and everything. Like that whole rant that the characters in Clerks go on about like all the other people that work on the Death Star that aren't part of the military. You know, they're just general contractions or whatnot. I want to play that game now.
Janitors.
Death Star Simulator.
Exactly.
It'd be great,
Management.
honestly. Like as a game, that'd be a lot of fun. Get the cool the cutout style even, so you can see like just like one cross section
Cross-section,
yeah.
of the Death Star with all the different rooms.
Yeah, and you can slowly
have to
build out
it
stuff like Fallout Shelter, and your room is limited by how big a Death Star you've built.
You have to fight off X-wing attacks. Don't build like one
Defense,
weak point.
yeah, would be part of it. Like,
Awesome.
like Raiders get in, but they're rebels, and they're just like trying to like turn off the shield generator and stuff like that.
Trying to make sure there's no vents.
This is a
No.
idea not to steal it. Take the idea.
Please do.
Steal-
Please
steal
Please
this
steal the idea we
Make
stole
this
from
game.
Bethesda, basically. Steal that and then make that.
Well, look,
then get sued by Lucas.
that was a love child of Bethesda's baby and my Death Star builder. So I'd say we're in the clear here, right? We're in the clear.
Well, as long as we don't actually monetize it, I think we're fine no matter what.
I kind
think
of
so. I don't think there's any
so.
danger
I
of
don't
that.
think that's the way they work. They just go that nah.
But it's cool. Are you looking forward to the Best Spin DLC, Adam, for Battlefront?
Maybe it's all like dependent on if I have someone to play with to get back into it. I don't like playing first-person shooters alone. That's like I don't play Overwatch. It's like my favorite shooter in forever, but I don't play it alone because it's just not as fun. So if there's someone to play with me, yeah, I'll check it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was trying to convince JD to pick up the new Battlefront, but because he was such a huge fan of Battlefront 2, waited forever for a new Battlefront game to come out, which so many people did. Then when the moment they announced it, he's like, I'm not interested in it now. And it's so weird. It was like, because he liked it. I never played any of the Battlefront games, but, it's like, if I would have played them, I would have been excited when it came out. I'm super excited about Battlefield coming out.
Yeah.
And I haven't really played a Battlefield game since probably like Battlefield 2142.
I'm really excited about Battlefield and also the new Quake. Both look very interesting. I'm like all of a sudden back into first-person
Really?
shooters.
Quake?
Well, we just played new Doom,
Which was great.
It was fantastic. So like,
Probably the best release of the spring, I would say.
right naturally, or maybe
And that
maybe
one-
Overwatch for me. Takes
Nah, I
it.
never played it.
Well, and,
I played one match of Overwatch, and I was like, I know how this ends. And I like immediately just put it
How
down.
does it
and
end?
starts just me like being up till 4 a.m. every night
Right.
playing the
Doom
game.
ended
Right.
like that.
That sounds
for
like
you.
that's a positive response.
Yeah, but
Right.
Overwatch
Oh, it's too
doesn't
good.
ever end. I'm still doing it to this day.
That's
with
true. There's
Overwatch.
no exit
Okay, so
strategy for that game.
at Founder Isner on Twitter just said there's a Death Star Tiny Towers game. It's actually pretty good.
Okay, when we were talking about it, in the back of my head, I was hoping someone would say that there was a game like this because I kind of recall that there was something else out there. It's a Tiny Towers game.
I guess so.
Never played any of those. Was that like a genre? Like a
I think Tiny Towers is I think it's
defense kind of
is it a
thing?
mobile game? It's like a
I'm looking up.
tower building. Hold
Never
on.
heard of it.
You're
if
about to
only
lose
I
me for
had
the
a
rest of the
laptop
patch.
here.
Access to
Tiny
the might and power of the
Towers,
internet.
Death Star.
if only we had this, right, Ryan?
I'm going to see who
All right,
wins.
Tiny Towers Death Star.
Ooh.
Oh,
Laptop
Disney
wins.
pulls tiny Death Star and the Towers Assault. It was a business simulation video game.
A business sim.
Oh, there, look.
Oh, it's super cute.
Oh, it's so
Oh
cute.
man.
And now you just found out that it was snatched out from under you seconds after you discovered
Was it a
it existed.
mobile game? I know. This is the life I'll never live.
This is a real emotional roller coaster right now.
Oh,
it looks
what?
so cute.
Floor by floor Death Star building. That's the game.
Okay, so how can we get this? I don't care if it's been pulled. I need this game. It was published for Android, iOS, Windows Phone, and Windows 8.
I love the Emperor and Darth Vader like out on the town, just like going to the cantina, hanging out.
As you do.
Oh, dude, I would totally play that game.
R.I.P.,
We'll find
apparently.
we'll find a way to play that. That'll be the new Game Club game.
It came out in 2013. I'm just trying to figure out here, like, about it being pulled now because I'm really sad.
When do you play
Well, I
games?
mean,
Why not just leave
Full
that?
Was it a
removal,
Disney?
October 2014, so it wasn't even around very long.
Okay.
Well, Disney rolled back a lot of stuff, right, when they took over. I mean, part of
Infinity
their...
got
Well,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
now they're not
Disney-
doing games.
Well, they
Yeah.
keep
They're not doing
changing
developed
directions.
games.
Here's the statement. Disney removed the game off all app stores because they wanted to take the Star Wars games in another direction.
Oh, what? Come on. I mean, so what?
I mean, they were...
You know,
they,
you can take the series in another direction. You don't stop selling the prequels.
Well, they came in and really tried to. It seemed like they tried to tighten up the canon of the entire universe a lot, and they went ahead and said like, okay, all
I mean, they
this
threw
stuff
half of
Extended
it out.
universe
no
is
longer
out.
canon. Yeah, this is what we're going to focus on. That is weird though that you would just retcon out existing games.
Well, there were a lot of games. So, I mean, you mean unrelease?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I mean, because I guess they got to. Well, they didn't unrelease books, so they didn't unrelease, the Old Republic or anything like that. So
They
it
just
seems
don't
like
like Tiny
this
Towers
one in
games.
particular is just super weird.
Give us
like,
back our
why
money,
remove
Timothy
this one?
Zahn.
I mean, if you're gonna take anything, take the Twilight DS game.
Do you remember, Ash, a few years ago when we knew a lot of people in the video game industry who were verified on Twitter, and then there was this weird thing that happened where they went through and took away the verification from a bunch of people in the video game industry?
I do remember that because that I remember that was the Fragdolls Twitter account was involved in that. Like
Right.
it was verified, and then it just like wasn't anymore.
And it was
There
specifically a lot of stuff in gaming.
It was. My understanding of it is that a bunch of people like knew a guy.
Right.
And so they all got verified through this guy, and then that guy got in trouble with Twitter because that's not the way that's supposed to work. And so they went through and they unverified all the people that got verified through that dude.
Right.
Sounds like
My
I
friend
heard the
literally
same
just told me
story.
this story this weekend. Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah.
the thing they're always saying in cop dramas, where like, no, you got to be impeccable because if they catch you, then all the cases you did goes down with you.
Yeah, my
right.
friend was a victim of that, where he knew a guy and he went and his friend verified a bunch of people, and then like they went back through his logs of who he verified, just unchecked everyone. It's crazy.
That's great. Well, it's a weird thing because like when you talk about unreleasing games, like when they did that, and I think it's relevant to the discussion because it happened to like a lot of people in the video game industry. It's almost like saying that the verification thing, it's like, I don't think it matters really in the grand scheme of things, but when you unverify someone, it kind of almost flags it though it's a fake account. It's
Right.
like, and if it is definitely that person's account and they can take it away, it's like, what does then verification mean? What is the purpose of it?
Right, because the whole point of it is supposedly to say you are you.
Right.
So if
they say
if you
you're
were
not
and then they
you?
take it away, it's like, so you're casting some doubt here. Yeah,
Well,
it's like it's weird to take it away. It seems like you just go, you never get to verify anyone ever again.
And the Fragdolls one seems especially weird because the Fragdolls one had millions of followers because it was one of the earliest accounts, and it got in that gaming section for when you signed up, and it said you should follow this account, and they
Yeah.
ended up with like 1.5 million followers.
Yeah, I think it might even have been over 2 million at some point, but it was before they had recommended accounts, anything like that. This is when we created the account. I think it was late 2007. We managed to get it on the list of recommended Twitter accounts, like when you sign up for Twitter. And at the time, it was just a static list. It was, hey, welcome to Twitter. Looking for people to follow? Try following these guys. And it was just a list of really anyone they could get on the platform. And so it managed to get millions. They deleted.
They mothballed the account.
They mothballed
Wow.
the Fragdolls account.
Wow.
Here's the
gone.
thing.
Had
No, no,
millions
no.
of Twitter followers, and they just it's
oh,
gone.
Oh no, that's another story. They gave it to another account.
Oh.
Ubisoft changed the Fragdolls Twitter to like some
Community
other
account.
kind of like they took Fragdolls ended, and they like there were two other girls from Ubisoft. I want to say they're like community developers, something like that. And so they're like, hey, we're gonna start a group called blah. I don't remember exactly because I
That's
don't
hard to
follow
spell.
it that much anymore. But it's blah, and So they actually changed the Fragdolls account to that one. So
Wow.
it was just like, hey, this group of 2 girls doing this community stuff. I mean, it was honestly a spiritual successor, doing a lot of the same stuff that Fragdolls did, like competitive stuff and community stuff for Ubisoft games. But they changed it. So it's like, hey, this brand new group, 1 million followers. And Fragdolls went to a like backup account, just like a
Right.
dead account that was never going to be used again anyway. And then I guess eventually just got deleted.
When I did that, you had this thing in Achievement Hunter when they changed your name for one of the Shenanigans episodes for your Xbox Live name.
Yeah.
And it's like I changed my Twitter account one time from Bernie Burns to Bernie. Like, I don't know why I thought it was better to have Bernie Burns than Bernie. I had both accounts forever. And I was like, I had to do it in the middle of the night because I didn't want to switch and then someone to pick up my old account as soon as it became available, So I had to swap them out really quickly.
That's always my fear of like changing my Twitter handle because Gilbert Ranger doesn't really have any meaning anymore. So I kind of want to try a permeation of Adam Ellis, but I don't want to like switch it and lose one.
Jack lost his, right? So somebody, either Michael or Jack, permanently changed their Xbox account, but then didn't think to register the other one, and then it was Jack's, and then Michael registered his old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack,
Brilliant idea.
Michael read the old one.
Yeah.
When
I
they
think
messed
he's let
with
it go by
your
now.
Xbox Live account, they at least like saved it, right?
Yeah, no, they
It was a big point of discussion.
snatched it up with another just empty account real
Good.
quick.
What
before.
was the account name? The new one? The Milk?
Give me your
Give
milk
me your
or
milk.
something?
Yeah. So weird.
Oh, man, that Edgar joke. That's my life. Twitter verification, though, that's all just nonsense, right? I mean,
No,
it's,
but it is nonsense. Well, it's like having a release game of Star Wars and then unreleasing it. That's what led to this conversation. Is it's like, if you do these things, it's like, does it really take it away? Or in the case of like this Twitter unverifying a bunch of video game industry accounts, like what does that say? What does that message say?
well, the weird thing to me is it's not something that let's say if I want to be TSA pre-check, I sign up for an appointment, I go meet somebody, I'm like, this is me, I'm a real human. They're like, you're TSA pre-check.
Right.
For Twitter, it's like, all right, let's meet. We got a room behind a room. The
Behind a
password
room?
is the password
There's
is
a room behind the room?
There's a room behind the room. The password is Eagle flies at midnight. And then you go in and they're like,
Is there a counter sign
got?
like
it's like two dudes in a park
Like-
on a bench, like overlooking a lake.
right? It's like you can't
Yeah.
apply for it. It's not like you fill out some documentation. You're like, okay, you made it. It's like
I feel like
the
Twitter
business has made it
verification is
happen.
more secure than passports.
Well,
Like I should be able to
It's
travel on
just-
it. Be
Is
like,
it
though? 'Cause
be
what's
like,
it
be like,
based on?
yo, no, Twitter knows that I'm me.
Well, it's just we're off on a tangent
Yeah.
there, but it's just like generated demand. It's all it is.
I
It's
know.
like-
Real quick,
know.
Yeah.
the Twitter used to have a feature on the iPhone that you could pull down your notifications and just search by mentions.
Yay.
And one day that went away, and I found out it just went to verified users. So unverified people don't have that.
It's still on the desktop though.
Right? It's nonsense.
Super weird, right?
nonsense. Thank you. All
They
nonsense.
just didn't have enough features for verified, so they gave them.
I don't know the feature you're talking about.
No,
but
this
we'll
is
talk about that
this is the mobile app, just the Twitter mobile app for iOS. Used to have a filter for notifications. You could go notifications and mentions, and then one day mentions went away.
We gotta get off Twitter.
Okay, let's talk about
I
video
feel
games.
bad that I brought it up.
Let's talk about video games.
So let's talk about Inside.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay,
played it?
Good one.
so should we can we get like a spoiler warning thingy up, like on the thing of the what's it like with the
What are we gonna
the Game of
spoil in
Thrones one?
this game?
It's,
I mean,
Apparently, the last
the
little chunk of it is.
I haven't
very
played the last
unique.
chunk of it. I haven't seen the last
I
chunk
feel like
yet.
people
You
at
haven't?
least
Have not.
I would love to do like a round of like a game of our facial expressions. I actually recorded
Have you
actually
finished it?
finishing the game.
No, I
you haven't finished it.
Okay, we won't spoil
Well,
it for
yeah,
you.
we shouldn't spoil it now. I mean, it just came out this week either. So
It came,
Well, it
out,
came out
last week.
or
last
It's
week,
been
sorry.
it's been
It's like a
a
45
week and a
minute
day.
game. It depends on how.
Oh no, it's we've been recording Let's Watches of it. We're over 2 hours already.
Right,
Really?
Gameplay
Well,
wise,
Well, it's Michael playing.
You guys
I
are
don't know.
busy making jokes while you're
That's
trying to
fair.
play the game.
yeah. And also gameplay wise, have to say much more polished than Limbo. It felt it was grander in scale, like the puzzles that you're doing. Bernie, you mentioned this last night, but in Limbo, when you're completing a puzzle, it tends to be like it's a very limited area. You stay here, whereas inside you may be like running all over the place, like different rooms, different levels.
Right.
You go a really long way. There's a lot of running in the game. Kids fit.
We were noticing that today. Yeah, we got to the point where we were starting to wonder if we'd messed something up because you ran so far away from.
Right.
It's like you identify, okay, here's a puzzle, and then you ran forever and like multiple levels later.
They're recording.
We're
something.
recording something. Don't mind that.
Multiple levels later, that's still part of the same puzzle. I mean, levels as in like floors. There was like a point where you went down like 3 levels in an elevator and you started doing something finally way over here, and then you had to go back here and then up here, and then it's just the area of the puzzle was enormous.
And like on Limbo, which was also developed by Playdead, I always felt like the puzzles, everything I needed was within a screen, essentially. Like, it would be one screen away. This might be like 8 or 10 screens away. You know, you got to go on this long hike sometimes. Sometimes you enter an area and you'll pass stuff up that you'll need for the puzzle, but you don't yet know you're in the puzzle, so you're not looking out for that stuff. How do you find the puzzles compare to Limbo?
Do you... go on. If you want to answer that, that's fine.
I think they're far easier than Limbo, actually.
I think they are as well. They is in terms of sheer brutality. Like some of the buzzsaw puzzles in Limbo were so aggravating. And
I don't know. There's some things in inside that are just partially because you are no longer just looking at silhouette. But I mean, when you see at a certain point, like there's big thunderclaps in the distance that create a shockwave, and your character just goes.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
I love that part.
Limbo, I felt like it was a lot more trial and error, where you just like get surprised by a trap that you couldn't really see because it's a silhouette, and then you just go back and try to remember that. Do you find yourself frustrated like having to backtrack for things that you just walked by like 5 minutes ago?
Well, I think inside where I get frustrated is I go, I'm in an area, I'm trying to figure everything out, and I'm like, man, if I just had this, and I'm like, let me go see if that's back a few screens, and I go, or back a little bit of distance. It's not actual screens, and then I go back, and sure enough, I find the thing that I needed the whole time. It's like, if this had been a little bit more convenient to find, it really wasn't part of the puzzle. It's more like a treasure hunt, trying to find this, like a box or something like that I need. But in general, I would say that the puzzles on this, it's like, I don't do a lot of trial and error on Inside. They're pretty straightforward.
It seems like the
elevator
part
puzzle, I think, was the
of Inside is figuring out what you're supposed to do. The difficult part of Limbo was doing the thing you're supposed to do. A lot of Limbo, like it felt like you're like, all right, I just need to get through this thing, and it was pretty straightforward. But actually executing it was really tough.
Like the stuff with the magnets at the end of Limbo and changing gravity, and even the thing when you have the 2 boxes and you have to stack them on top of each other and open the 2 clamps, and it's such a timing thing. It's like you can know exactly how to do that and still get to that part and not just blaze through it.
I prefer like that sort of gameplay style where you're trying to perfect something and it's all about execution.
Yeah, but you love Dark Souls.
And Super,
you
I
love
like
pain.
I like just repeatedly trying a challenge, like in Super Meat Boy.
You like doing it until you find the perfect motion,
right?
That
like
completes the challenge.
It's like playing an instrument with your hands.
I like that, except for the fact that Limbo had an achievement to finish the whole game with 5 deaths or less.
I tried that so many times.
That.
We streamed it, yeah. We streamed that on the Rushi Twitch channel, right?
Yeah.
And we,
how'd you do?
We got it.
Wow.
Got it with one death to spare.
It was on the final life. It was so tense because you got through the whole thing, died on that once, and we're down to like the last thing, and that was it.
Yeah. And it was fun, though. It's fun to go through that. There's nothing like that in Inside. Most of the achievements are kind of like in Limbo, where you had to find the eggs. This, you have to find these like cores, and you pull them out. And once you find all of them, then you actually get a different ending as well.
That's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to pull on it, not push on it. I found one, and I was like,
you were pushing on that thing the whole time. Oh my gosh! I kept asking you, "Are you grabbing it or whatever?"
Yeah. I was because I was finishing it last night, and Bernie'd already finished it, and so he's just sitting there, and he like offers super vague but surprisingly helpful hints every now and again. And I got into this weird room, and he's like, "I've never been in there," and I was like, and turned around and walked out.
Yeah, I was like super fascinated because you got an area that I hadn't seen, which is typically where there's one of these, achievement Easter eggs or whatever you want to call them, these collectibles. That the way they do it. So,
all right, I'm gonna read this real quick. Not all ingredients are created equal. Fresh, high-quality ingredients taste better and are better for you, so it's important to know where your food comes from. For less than $10 per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-proportioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Blue Apron knows that when you cook with incredible ingredients, you make incredible meals. So they set the highest quality standards for their community of artisanal suppliers, family-run farms, fisheries, and ranchers. Whether it's Japanese ramen noodles, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, or heirloom tomatoes, Blue Apron is bringing you the best. Blue Apron features new recipes that are created each week by Blue Apron's culinary team and are not repeated within a year. Each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card and pre-proportioned ingredients that can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. Check out this week's menu and get your 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/thepatch. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/thepatch. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Perfect way to end it. Jeff's super excited about it.
So saith the screen.
Can't
All right,
wait to
so
cook.
let's bring up the spoilery thingy that's
Okay.
ready, just because
Wait,
we'll
do
talk.
I want to go la la la?
Well, we're
la?
not going to talk the end.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about the end because you guys haven't finished it. But this way we can at least talk the story that you guys know of and are up to, and we can make theories.
Like the world itself.
Like the world itself, without spoiling people who want to know absolutely nothing.
I've read so many theories on Inside at this point that I'm just like, and I don't agree with any of them.
So my perspective on the game is so far as I've jumped into the middle of it. Like I was not in the first part of our Let's Watch. I was only in the second part. So what I've seen thus far is that you're in, once again, a very dark underworld type place.
Right.
Populated by some kind of husk-like zombie things that you control with your brain if you stick your head in a brightly colored helmet.
You okay?
Also dogs
Also dogs.
Dude,
and submarines.
fuck dogs.
I have a similar
dogs.
amount of experience where I've only seen the first little chunk of it because I'm watching it because I don't have an Xbox. So until it comes
it
out on
just
PC,
released on PC now.
like today, right?
Yesterday.
Yeah, I'll be playing it
or
on PC
last night or something like that.
probably very soon.
So it really can be solved in short order. There's not. I'm trying to think of a place. There is
Similar to
somewhere
Limbo,
where
it's
something
not-
catches you by surprise.
Well,
and I
Limbo,
can't think what that
There are a
is.
lot of things that catch you by surprise, mostly the fuck, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's like something that's like you didn't know what it was and you approach it and it kills you, kind of like the spider or the
Right,
bear,
right.
the bear traps in Limbo. You know,
Yes.
My
I don't
a
question
remember
little
what
bit
that
of
was.
trial and error, but probably like a tenth of what there is in Limbo.
Do you think the developers of this game have ever had a single happy thought? Just one.
Man, it's a good question,
Dude,
What's their deal
I
with
mean-
worms? That's what I want to know.
Right.
There's some,
Sea
there's some
worms, are
kind of
there
like
worms?
worm
Do you guys
fetish.
get through the pig room?
We just showed it
I haven't
actually
seen
a
the
little
pig
clip
room.
of the
A
pig.
little clip. So there's just one part. It's not story intensive, but like pigs are running at you, and you have to like jump over them and avoid them. But it's a pig with a glowworm on its head,
Oh.
But
on its butt. So there's like
where
a
pig brains
super
are, yeah.
like that one detail has led to this crazy universe theory that Limbo and
Here's the
inside
pig.
here's the pig part. You can see here. So you have to like jump over him and like avoid him as it's like chasing you down.
That's a mean looking pig.
Super
yeah,
mean
all
pig,
the
right?
animals. It's dude, this game looks so cool. It's just like it's such a great spiritual successor to Limbo. It's so great. We're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about how
like-
weird it is, and it's maybe not as hard as Limbo. I loved this game.
It's wonderful.
Where's
It's
the-
gorgeous.
where's the
In fact, I just got
glowworm?
distracted.
Well,
while we
he'll
were
see here.
watching
He'll
it.
knock the pig out, and then it might. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the crazy universe
oh,
theory
it's got a
that's like
tapeworm.
Yeah.
popped up is that those are almost like a beta, like an earlier evolution of the worm in Limbo, and that scientists are like researching it and like developing it, and that because the same things that work on pigs, like diseases and all that sort of stuff, often work on humans as well, or like
Good
communicable.
call.
That
Very
indicates
similar
that
anatomy.
it's like early testing.
That's why you always dissect pigs in class, because the anatomy.
I've dissected frogs. I don't know what class you were in.
I
Oh, you
did
guys
a
are
pig.
Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
frog
Pig.
and a pig.
It was
Really?
the worst.
Yeah.
I just had the frog, and I was like, I feel terrible, but you dead
They
already.
smell
We had to
bad on the
dissect
inside.
a worm. That's formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
when I was a biology student at UT, the biology building, the whole bottom floor of the basement, it was just the worst. Smell.
yeah.
It was just formaldehyde. It was just awful. But yeah, so I had a weird theory that like there's definitely some kind of connection between the worms in Limbo and the worms in Inside, but they just kind of hinted them a little bit.
Just barely.
And then the whole like mind control stuff and you know the I don't know what you want to call the people that are walking around, the zombies essentially.
Yeah.
They're like these blank things, but then all the characters are kind of blank in a way. They like that. That's really where I get the comparisons between that and Limbo, and it makes me wonder, what is Limbo? Limbo's like a dream world. It seems like at first when you play Inside, it's kind of an alien thing because you're running and there's people like searching the woods with cars and things like that. It feels almost like E.T. Your character's actually dressed just like Elliot from E.T.
Did not notice that.
Yeah, and so it's like some of the moments in there in the beginning with the flashlights in the woods and stuff, it felt just like a Spielberg movie to
Oh God,
me.
there's that opening sequence is so intense.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that actually led me to a theory. What do you guys think is going on in the game? Like, what do you think the story is based on what you've seen.
And also on Twitter, if you want to give us some of your theories,
Yeah,
use
absolutely.
hashtag the patch, please.
I have to abstain from this because I don't have enough knowledge to give insight.
Dude, we still want the theories.
Yeah, I'm going
Any
to make a
theories?
wild theory. Sure.
Go for it.
Go for it.
So again, I've barely seen any of it. All I know is that there's some kind of governing body, I guess, because there are humans that are not husked that seem to be not happy that you exist.
Yeah, correct.
So these are the let's call them the Husk Masters, the makers of the husks.
You want to call them the Husk Masters or the Makers?
They're the one is
I
tied
like,
to the other.
I like naming stuff.
Okay.
No, I see that those are two different things too. Like they're not the people that made the husks, but I feel like they're collecting them and using them
Okay.
for other purpose.
I've noticed that the Husk people have obviously, like, some of them are wearing different clothing and are clearly
Like the ones with the hard hats,
yes,
like they're dressed for their certain work
specialized.
role.
I don't want to know what the ones with no pants are doing. So
They're just, let me tell you,
Yeah.
they're walking stiffs.
hey,
yo.
rigor mortis works too. I'm gonna guess that so this is it's like one of those dystopian future things where a group of people have gotten power and have figured out how to turn normal human beings into husk beings. And putting them to work because you at several points can control multiple husk things with a single helmet.
Right.
So you're
And they seem
basically
to
a
have,
force
like,
multiplier.
Hard hats on and things like they're
Yeah.
being put to work, but you never actually see them doing anything.
No, they're
Unless
always kind of
someone
like
is specifically controlling them.
Or they're like, there's a weird thing later where they're being used as like, this could be a potential spoiler for later in the game, but I don't think so. Like they're being used as servers. Yeah, I don't know if you've gotten to that part. It's
I'm like I'm so
the
behind
look
the
on
time on
Adam's
this.
face is like pretty much how you spend
Don't worry,
most
that's
of
the game.
Inside. Inside is one of those games you
the
will
only-
enjoy the whole way through, but you'll have this look on your face all the time, like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I mean, really, you're just kind of like you're kind of along for the ride narratively
Sure.
with Inside.
Until
Yeah.
you sit down and digest it.
And
Yeah.
you just
It
go.
reminds me of We Happy
look,
Few in a
even when
way.
you digest it, you just end up like,
ugh.
Have you played We Happy Few?
No, but I was watching the demo for it.
dude, that
Yeah.
looks
At
super
E3, yeah.
freaky.
Where everyone's on their joy or whatever, and everyone's like sort of like this controlled being, or like at least emotionally.
Well, and everyone's wearing those
Suppressed.
masks too, and the enemies and Inside they're all
Right,
wearing those masks.
exactly.
Yeah.
My theory when I started playing the game was that actually like the kid's a bad guy, that you're a bad guy, and that because you can do the mind control thing, that you might be like responsible, or like your kind, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's a wizard, and your kind is responsible for the husked people.
The husky people.
The husky people, and the regular non-husked people are trying to capture you and get rid of you because they're like a witch hunt basically. So that was my theory going all along, because the second I did the mind control, I was like, this seems like morally wrong. But
Well, they're not
the
doing
kid was
much.
just like, eh. I mean,
Until you
it's true
plug
they're
into the
not doing
brain
much,
stems.
but only because they've been zombied, man.
That's true, but do you see the kid make the zombies?
No, but that doesn't mean that, like, I'm just wondering if he's more than human. That was my theory going through the whole thing.
The part that I've played, I've not seen any other human interact with a helmet, so I assume that other people can, though.
Right, not the normal people can't.
It
right?
is human head shaped, right?
It is,
As
yeah. I
helmet.
mean, it's
Human-head
pretty. I would say it's a universal head adapter. If
And
I,
these things whatever these things are, might not have their brains in the same place that a human does. Like you're not gonna put that helmet on a
that's
worm.
interesting. I always just assumed that it was a human that had been turned into something.
The husks.
But yeah, that might make more sense as if it was some kind of automaton or.
Well, you made a
robot
weird comment at one point where you just said, "Are they growing them?" Like,
Yeah, well, like I wondered if people were like if they were, because I saw one that seemed like not fully formed,
Right.
And I wasn't sure if that's because it was missing limbs that it used to have, or if it just hadn't grown those limbs yet.
have you guys gotten to some of the water stuff from some of the water enemies? She
Oh,
hates
yes.
the water
Okay,
enemy.
yes, there is. I
I
have seen a
hate
water
the water
enemy.
enemy. Fuck that kid.
Yeah.
But fuck a lot of things in this game,
Fuck
frankly.
dogs, fuck kids.
Yeah.
But some of the water physics stuff is incredible.
Right.
Like there are points where the water is on the ceiling and you're diving up into it is super surreal, which again makes me wonder what the hell is this world? Because you're going through, at first the world seemed normal, right? You're hiding in forests and you're walking through like really shallow ponds and there's logs and stuff that you're hiding behind. It all seemed really, really normal. And it got progressively weirder and more surreal the further you went. So I don't know what world this is, but it doesn't feel like a real world, like a real one anymore.
It would be strange if they made it another. I mean, Limbo. It's pretty hard to argue is not an afterlife sort of experience. I mean, even the name Limbo is sort of indicative of that. It'd be really kind of strange if they made a second post-life sort of game.
I agree with that.
Back to back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Unless they're both this like similar experiments, they may not be post-life at all in the end. They may just be like some crazy. I mean, who's to say that you don't zoom out and you were plugged into another head thing all along? Like,
it's not entirely clear to me, like for most of the game. Not I'm gonna spoil the ending or anything, but it's not clear for me for most of the game what the goal is. Like, where am I going? Like in Limbo, you encounter a fake version of the sister early on, or the girl character. I'm assuming it's a sister. One of the things I love about Playdead's games are they don't tell you anything. Like, you just start, like, even in Limbo, you don't even know the game's begun until you, like, finally are sitting there waiting for this character to wake up, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just move him. And then you get him going. And then same thing works with Inside. There's some really complex mechanics that come up later in the game, but they don't tell you how to do them. There's no prompts on the screen or anything like that. Just the way they go about showing you the game and narratively tell their story of gameplay. There's not many people that do it as well as they do.
They do like very like visual tutorials. It's kind of similar to, remember, so we played a Hyper Light Drifter for Game Club. And this was a game that kind of prided itself on having nothing spoken. Like there were no words, there was no, like, you know, conversations were all like pictograms. I feel like Playdead does that kind of thing sublimely. They're wonderful at it.
It just doesn't even bother to actually show you pictures. It's just, okay.
Right, but
go.
it's like it shows you through the gameplay what you need to do, and then like builds on it very gradually, but it's subtle and you totally get it.
Yeah, it's also like once you figure it out,
you
realize the way the game was cluing you into stuff, and you're just like, oh, that's what that was. Like that's why this thing was reacting with this thing in that way, you know. And once you figure that out, then you're like, oh, it totally makes sense.
Limbo did. I did exactly the same thing. They did a great job of it in that game as well. Every mechanic was introduced that exact same way. So I'm glad to see that they've carried that forward.
What's the hardest puzzle in Limbo that you remember? I hated the one where there was the two bear traps on the ropes, and you had to trigger one and then move back, and then the other one would come. And it was like they would swing across each other. And that's where when you get in the guy's fort, basically, where there's these other people like survivors or whatever they are living in that world that have the fake spider. It's like that's the part that just drove me nuts.
Your memory is way better than mine. I just remember being crushed by cogs a lot.
I think for me, it might have been the first major buzzsaw puzzle. Isn't there one where you have to jump a buzzsaw in the dark?
Yes.
That's for the shortcut, though, right? Like
that is for the shortcut.
If you're going the shortcut to get the achievement. Egg.
But I think in that same area, there's like it's like a crazy. That's like your first crazy, like you have to leap this and run and leap this, like very very precise timings with the buzzsaw. And I remember just hating that the first time I played the game.
Would you play it? Recommend everybody play Inside?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week.
Great game. Great game.
All right.
And if you've already played Inside, you can take it with a spoiler warning. If
Throw it
you've
away.
already played Inside and you're looking for a game that's similar to it, I'm assuming you've already played Limbo. But there's another game that's available for download on Xbox One. It's a much older game. It's called Out of This World. If you can put up with the retro style of it and the controls of it, it's actually a really great game. It's very similar to a Playdead title. It was an old Amiga game.
Yeah, that was actually, and then it had a sequel too, right?
It's also known by the name Another World.
Another World.
So it was Out of This World in North America and Outer World in Japan. It's a 1991 cinematic platformer action-adventure game designed by Eric Chahi for Delphine Software.
Yeah.
I knew that all off the top of my head.
When it came out, I could never make it work. Like, it kept crashing on my computer.
And it is available on PS4.
Oh, it is?
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Okay.
PS4,
It's
Android.
the anniversary edition or something? Is that what's out?
Let's have a look here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to check my notes.
Well, I mean, we could probably address the CSGO fiasco.
Let's do that.
Oh,
Let's do
good
that.
heavens, the CSGO fiasco.
So
I mean, aside from all that, I want to start a little bit further back from it, though.
20th anniversary. Oh, God. The 20th anniversary is available on everything. iOS, Linux, Android, Windows, 3DS, OS X, PS3, PS4, PS Vita, Symbian, Wii U, Windows
Symbian.
Mobile, Xbox One.
What is Symbian? I don't even know what that is.
Isn't that a
is it available on the
Symbian?
Phantom as well?
Symbian. there it is. Yeah, I mean, the game's got
Symbian's
like
a mobile operating
17
system.
polygons in it, so
Yeah,
it
and it's
should
got
run on everything.
like a full 8 frames
has that
per
Prince
second.
of Persia sort of animation
It looks
style.
just
Dangle,
like
dangle,
that.
dangle,
Yeah.
dangle.
Yeah, but it's a really fun game, and you figure out puzzles in much the same way that you figure out puzzles in a Playdead title. So it's like I just really like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the root of all this really is Valve. And
The
Valve's,
CSGO thing.
Yeah, the root of the CSGO
I
thing.
might disagree, but okay.
Well, I mean, yes, the things that have come up since then are a totally separate issue. But what I'm really curious about is, do you think that Valve's in the wrong for providing the tools to share the skins, which is the basis for what all these other people have done later to create these gambling scandals?
The basis for those who haven't been following along very closely, we have, is that in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, you can get these crates, and then you buy a key for like $250 to unlock it, and then you get random skins for weapons and stuff out of it.
Right.
And you can trade those skins with other people.
Or you can put them on the marketplace.
Or you can put them on the marketplace. And these third-party websites have popped up, which basically turn skin trading into a form of gambling because certain rare skins are worth more than other skins. And so on. So there's these sites that have popped up, and they're becoming a huge thing. Recently, Valve was hit with a class action lawsuit by someone saying that it's gambling and that it's like underage gambling, it's unregulated, and so on. So that's an issue. But most recently, a couple of very prominent CSGO players, YouTubers, and streamers were found to be owning the CSGO skin gambling site that they've
CSGO
been
Lotto, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the way-
that they've been promoting without disclosing that
yeah.
they were affiliated in any way
And
with that
there was
site. So
some
that's the TLDR version.
Pretty damning stuff too. Like I saw a video that one of them had put up where he was talking about the site for the first time. He was like, "Hey, we found this site.
It's like,
you know,
my
we're
friend
checking
told
it
me
out."
about this cool site.
Yeah, and now he says, I believe at the time he didn't have an investment in the site at that point, but it's no one can figure that
There's
out.
Well,
a
I
great
mean,
expose
according-
video done by H3H3.
My understanding of the situation was that the site itself approached these popular YouTubers and was like, make us these videos promoting our site and so on and so forth, and we'll give you equity instead of paying you outright. And so by giving them equity, then they become part owners.
I mean,
Which you have to
it depends on the YouTuber.
Right, which they had not.
It depends on the YouTuber. This particular site, if you look up the articles of incorporation
Yeah.
for the company that owns the site, it was founded by one of these YouTubers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they're all listed in the
And like
original
one of them is
articles
president, one of them is
incorporation.
vice president. Like they
It's,
fully own this company.
T. Martin and Syndicate are the two.
So I
in
had
question
heard
here.
total. Okay, that's crazy because I had heard about T. Martin that he was just given equity and was
Well, that's what
basically
he tried
he
promoting.
kind of said that, and then
Yeah.
people went back and were like, "Here's the articles of
Yeah.
incorporation. Here's
Wow.
the date. Here's the dates of your videos." And then he like went back and pulled his
videos?
statement video
Wow, that's
because
rough.
he was in the shit again for lying about it.
I mean, credit where credit's due. A lot of this research has been done by H3H3 Productions
Honor the Call.
and Honor the Call. Honor thy call.
It's Honor the Call.
The Call. Honor the Call. Those are the two original. Well, Honor the Call was the original researcher, and then H3H3 has made a follow up that
Like a signal
built on
booster.
top of that.
Yeah.
Exposing a lot of this stuff. And again, but I would like to talk briefly. I mean, because that's been discussed very
Yeah.
heavily. Like they're very awful people. I think essentially is what it boils down to at this point. Is you've been proven to be a liar in 3 different levels at this point. So what
Well,
else
and
can we
there's-
say other than shame?
Yeah, there's one thing. So we did a news update about this yesterday, going into a lot of the details about how these people were found out and what it is that they've done. But one thing that we actually didn't discuss is because we spent a lot of time talking about T. Martin in particular because he, I believe, was the one who founded the company and everything, and he's the one who did the video and then pulled it, and also went back and put like, hey, this is an ad in all of the video descriptions, even though they weren't there before, and all this stuff. So that's been the focus of it. But actually, the other guy, Syndicate, we didn't talk about this, but this is like his third infraction with the FTC because he also. It was a game that he'd been promoting.
Dead Realm.
Dead Realms, and there we go. And he owns equity in that company as well, and had been promoting the game without disclosing that affiliation.
That was
and
in August of
before
last
that-
year. It was less than a year ago.
Yeah.
So he knows. And before that was the Machinima thing, where Machinima in particular was hit with Xbox promotional thing
Right.
for YouTubers not disclosing that they were making favorable videos about Xbox. And so that's like and he was involved in that. So it's like the third time.
I'm not sure if I don't remember him specifically being named in that, but group seems to have come out of the machinima era of that time. And these are all like involvement of the FTC and things, which you don't often hear about. You know, there was the Xbox thing where they had to give positive reviews of the Xbox. There was this game that came out where the Let's Players were promoting it, and the FTC got involved. Like Gamma Sutra did a whole article about it. And this, so it's interesting that there was 3 times at least that the FTC started getting involved with this group as a whole.
So just so I'm clear, when you are paid to make a video, you have to disclose that.
Yes.
So, but I thought for a while that was just tied to news outlets and journalists and people claiming to be like reputable media sources.
No, there's online.
There are online and social media FTC guidelines
it's
these
for
days.
everyone.
It's for everyone. It's like the exact format of disclosure depends on the medium.
Sure.
With Twitter,
we
it's
say
hashtag ad.
Right, exactly.
Or,
But not everybody does that. That's what our approach to it is. We
Yeah.
put hashtag ad on anything that's a paid placement.
Yeah,
You
some
can do
some
that
people will do
differently.
hashtag sponsored
Yeah.
or whatever. You have to make it very clear, within the world that someone would be interacting with the promotional content that it's been paid for.
News outlet or not. So
Yes.
these guys are completely in the wrong.
Correct.
The news outlet thing is interesting, though, because there was some arguments made by some people saying, well, the FTC guidelines say that when an online personality is paid to promote a product, then they have to disclose that paid promotion. The argument here was they're not being paid to promote the game. They own the company. If they own the company, they're really just talking about their own thing, which I kind of get in a way. Because at Rooster Teeth, when I say, hey, I'm going to RTX, I wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to RTX, hashtag ad, because that would promote a thing that's part of our company. But when it's 2 different companies, that's really where those disclosures become even more important. And for news, you'll often hear where they'll say, hey, we're reporting on the story about Star Wars. We should also disclose Star Wars is owned by our parent company, Disney, if the newscaster's part of ABC.
Gotcha.
They very clearly state that those conflicts of interest on an ownership level. And so I actually think in the cases of 2 different companies being owned by one person, I think those disclosures are even more important in that case.
So do you think that the T. Martin and Pro Syndicate thing will fall under that sort of loophole where they do, since they own the company, they don't have to hashtag ad, they're just promoting their own
Part
product?
of the problem was, though, they were so disingenuous about it because
Disingenuous
they
or not, you have to, are they going to get in actual trouble?
I don't
Or is
think
this
anything
gonna-
happened with Dead Realm
Or is this gonna be a
with the
catalyst?
FTC.
I think it comes
I don't
down
know.
to deceptive marketing essentially because they were more or less implying that they were impartial instead of
Sure.
of making their affiliation with the company known. Like had they been like, hey, I started this cool new site and I do this cool stuff on it, that would be very different because then people are they understand there's an affiliation, but they were actively hiding the affiliation.
Okay.
Also-
I'm just curious if this is going to have repercussions or if it's just going to be, we're going to talk about it for the next few weeks.
Well,
It
nothing
may come
else.
down to the FTC. Honestly, there's a video game lawyer is he's
He's awesome.
really
He's chomping at the
he's
bit
really
to
hot
get
on
out,
it. So we'll see. I think it would take someone who has been affected by this, like someone who gambled on the site as a result of their content and these promotions, to be able to take them to court and do anything about it, unless the FTC gets involved directly and comes in and says, "Hey, no," putting the foot down.
And those skins on there are incredibly expensive in some cases.
Yeah, some of
Hundreds
them
of
are.
thousands of dollars.
Well, let me ask you about that because, here is a third-party group that's taking a Valve system and making it gambling. But can someone explain to me how getting one of these crates in the game and then having to buy a key to open the crate, in which I am not guaranteed anything, it's a random selection that I have paid money to unlock. How is that not gambling?
It's the pachinko ball.
Well,
thing.
That's what I'm saying. The core Steam mechanic is in itself a lottery because
It
you're paying
is.
$250 for your ticket. You unlock the thing. You get you see if you won or not, or you got the basic skin that everybody gets. There's even color
So
coding when it does the roulette
The
wheel.
loophole is that you're paying money for a key. You're always guaranteed a key, and the key does the work in the game. So you're already you're getting what you're paying.
So you
for.
can just you think there's key collectors
Well,
out
I'm
there?
I'm saying
It's kind of like the loot
it-
boxes
it-
on Overwatch work. That's how they work as well. Or the what's in boxes in Fallout Shelter. You don't know what you're going to get. You
Right.
buy a thing and then you take a chance.
Right.
Yes. It's gaming.
In Japan, you can't gamble. So they have pachinko parlors where you go and you get a bunch of pachinko balls. And you don't win anything. You get tokens. And then you can take them across the street and trade those tokens for money. So it's
Nice.
Well,
it's
that's
that sort of
it's-
loophole just in video
the
games.
thing that you get doesn't have value. So from Valve's perspective, they're selling a key that opens a box. If to them the skins that come out of it have no monetary value, is it still gambling?
But they do. Because
Well, no,
you're-
they have
They do, because
monetary
you're-
value because the marketplace values them, but they do not inherently to Valve. You can't sell it back to Valve for any money.
And
can't say,
and here's the
Valve,
other
here's the
thing.
rare skin I have.
Here's
this
the other
is worth
weird thing about it
$1,000.
is you can't take any of the money out of the Steam ecosystem in any
it's
case.
all just
so
wallet.
super confused about it.
It's-
You can't like cash it out. You have to use it to
right.
buy games,
Yes.
Right. It just
Like
goes
you
to your Steam
never
wallet.
which you can also trade.
right, but you can't get your money back out of it ever.
So once the money goes in, it doesn't come out. All right, hold on
Which
a
is
second, let me
great
read
because
this.
because the other thing is that on every single transaction, Valve
gets
makes a tiny little amount from
Takes
it
a
as
little
well.
bite.
pouring money into them, then they get money on
And then
on
they're
the
just
top of
chipping
that.
away at the amount of money that you own.
Yeah. So the Ryan, we discussed this yesterday a little bit. Like the system itself isn't inherently bad. And there's a lot of games that do it. Fallout Shelter, Overwatch.
Hold on, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let me read this
Yeah.
real quick.
Okay.
We're getting close to the end here. Whether you're wearing a suit or sweats, you spend almost 24 hours a day in your underwear. But instead of making a statement like Superman's tights under his everyday clothes, you know what I'm talking about, your underwear is probably boring. MeUndies is here to change that. Every pair of MeUndies is made from a sustainably sourced modal, a fabric that's twice as soft as cotton. Nothing can describe the fit and feel of MeUndies, but once you try them on, you'll understand why they're called the world's most comfortable underwear. And if you don't love your first pair of MeUndies, they're free. No questions asked. MeUndies has dozens of styles and limited edition prints to help you make a statement with your underwear, whether anyone can see them or not. Remember Superman? Shipping is free in the US and Canada, and you can save up to $8 a pair with the MeUndies subscription plan. Get the subscription or a single pair. Get 20% off your first order when you go to MeUndies.com/thepatch. That's MeUndies.com/thepatch for 20% off your first order. MeUndies.com/thepatch.
Here's the real problem that I see with the transactional system on Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2 with hats and everything like that. The real problem with I see with it is that Valve makes so much goddamn money from this that they don't make any games because they don't need to. Remember when they released that stat?
So what you're saying is we need to beggar them.
Do you remember that stat they released where that Valve, and who knows why they even said this because they're a private company. They released a stat that said they make, revenue-wise, they make $8 million per employee per year.
I hope
that
those
was silly.
employees are like,
Can you imagine the line outside of HR the next day? It's like, I would like a raise.
Yes.
How much would you like?
I believe you can
$4
afford it.
million. That's how much money I would
Oh
like to
God.
make.
Yeah.
And at that point, why would you make a game? You've built a platform.
I'm
Thankfully,
looking
they
at
are
right
still
now,
doing
A lot of
actually-
research, though.
They're moving.
spend a
They're
lot of
moving
money on
forward
research.
VR. They're also like a third of the Valve employees are now working on VR stuff.
But VR is another platform, right?
Yep.
It's a platform, but they're like you have to imagine that when Portal 3 comes out, it'll be a Vive game. But
getting
if it ever comes out,
I'm getting a little infuriated by what's going on in VR with like DRM and everything like that. I'm getting
Me
just,
too.
it's just
Douglas.
like, it's just like I'm not going to buy 2 headsets. I'm not
Yeah,
going to buy
it's-
3 headsets.
no, it's really painful, especially
Yeah.
when you commit to one. And you look at the marketplace of what's there. You commit to one. You're like, all right, these are the games I want. And the next day, like another one gets announced, or it goes from a Vive game to another platform's game. It's really painful.
Here's what I think. If you're in the VR hardware development industry, if you're making a headset right now, you can compete in the marketplace against things like, Oculus and the Vive. You can compete in that marketplace. If people put in measures to fracture that market and have like DRM or exclusives on certain ones, you will not be able to compete in that market because that market will fail.
Well,
VR is not going to take off if they split it up. It's just not.
the painful thing is that like prior to all the VR headsets launching, certain members of the VR community that were making their headsets, they were on board with, sharing games across headsets and like non-exclusivity, so that they were saying that the goal is not to compete with another headset, it's to get VR in the hands of people.
Certain members. Did those certain members change their stance really quickly and then add DRM and then take it back away?
Potentially.
I mean, what is VR? What is the hardware? It's a monitor.
It's a monitor. It's
That's
a
what it
base
is.
monitor.
If you had a PC game that you couldn't
Literally-
play on Samsung monitors,
It's literally a head-mounted display.
that's all it is. And to make games exclusive to a display, essentially a display and a controller hybrid, it's just ridiculous.
Well, it's a very weird approach philosophically because it's taking, first of all, it's trying to do in the PC market, which is famously we all get
Right.
everything. Don't fuck with
Unless
us.
you have a Mac, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's different. Nobody likes those.
They're used to not getting anything.
Right.
Right, exactly. At this point, they'd be surprised if they did. They'd be suspicious. But it's taking that and then trying to implement a console approach to VR, which is we each have our platforms because that's how they think of them. They feel that they're completely new platforms, and we get our exclusives.
Right.
Which, I mean, to be fair, there's some games that are only distributed on Origin, and not on
true.
Steam. So that kind of thing happens. But they all play on the PC. Whereas this was they all play on all your monitors, regardless of where they were purchased. Whereas this is locking down the hardware that you can and can't use.
So
It's also, by the way, twice as much as any console. Pretty
Right.
much.
it
at
is.
this
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Oculus's battle right now is they're trying to keep people within its ecosystem without necessarily keeping it on their hardware, but they're having trouble making the distinction between the two. I will give them credit. So yes, they blocked Revive, but in face of public outcry, or maybe just because that was their intent, they've rolled back that block so that you can now use your Vive on the Oculus ecosystem.
Which I appreciate.
Absolutely, but
I
there's
appreciate
still
that too.
you still have to hack in. You have to use Revive to use their storefront, to use their games in that storefront.
Well, I don't know if you do anymore. They
it's not like-
they had a headset check to use the store previously, and now that's gone.
Right.
So I
but-
think they may have made it so you don't need Revive
It
at all.
still needs to be able to basically Revive. I think is taking the place of a translator between the OpenVR and Oculus specific
gotcha.
APIs.
Right.
I've
wait till
so
AR
far only
headsets
used
are showing
Vive,
up.
and I've only used it really within the Steam ecosystem.
We used the Oculus at one point. We had a dev kit for the Oculus.
Yeah, that's a while. We've got it in a closet somewhere. We've just
Yeah.
been using the Vive.
Collector's item.
Yeah. So that's like a DK too, I think.
Yeah. Yep. After Ryan started using it, and you showed me the Millennium Falcon simulator, I just immediately went out and bought it. But that developer's kit, it's been a few years or a year or so since we bought it. The Vive just is light years ahead of it. It's so weird when I hear people that when they talk about their Vive that it take them 12 hours to set it up. I'm like, how? It's like 3 components.
Yeah, I'm having to get the lighthouses and everything too. That we bought tripods just to have the lighthouses up without nailing anything into a wall. So that sort of
$20
stuff
tripods on Amazon.
Right, it took 2 days to get there.
Well, but in the meantime, we had them up on boxes.
Yeah, true. It was super awkward.
Yeah,
It's
we're
pretty
using-
flexible in where you can put those things.
Yeah.
You want to hear the ultimate futuristic problem is that my VR environment, I thought I broke one of my components of my VR simulation environment because my robot vacuum knocked over the tripod. In the middle of the night, I heard this crash. And I was like, what was that? And it's my robot, the Roomba, had gotten out of its closed-in penned area and made its way out in the living room and knocked over one
I can't
of the
believe the Roomba got out of its pen.
It's taking out the competition, man.
It's Skynet.
First
It's
it was the
happening.
broom, now it's the lighthouse.
There's the more robots getting out of their pens. That's
Right?
One story from last week.
You never spend time with me anymore. You always get that stupid headset on.
Yeah, but
Have you been
like
playing any Vive games?
I have. My kids love it. Teddy absolutely loves it. And there's a really great video that Miles put out on his Twitter account where after RTX, he brought his mother over and his dad. They never play any video games. You just watch them playing it. They're having a ball, dude. They love it.
The best part about the Vive is getting to show it to people that have never used it before because their reactions are so amazing. Every time I get a friend with a Vive, I'm like, record your friends' reactions, record your parents' reactions because it's awesome to watch.
I'm actually super excited for PlayStation VR because I feel like where the PC versions are still very expensive, it's going to be a cheaper, almost think of it as an entry level. Don't get snooty with me right now, Adam. I know it's probably not going to be as high a resolution.
No,
It's not going to be
I'm
the same
talking about,
premium experience.
price.
But that's
Yeah.
it's like $400.
It's $500 when you buy the camera and the Move controllers and the thing itself. It's $500 plus $300 for a console. I'm not saying that's
True,
without
but then
the
we're talking
$1,200
about getting
PC
the
that you don't have to
entire
buy.
ecosystem
Yeah.
for the same price as just a PC headset, which doesn't even take into account the machinery you need for the PC itself. That guy is horrified, really, by how expensive it can get. And but so I feel like it's going to be comparatively the entry level version. It's going to be the one that'll probably go a bit wider as opposed to a bit deeper. PC's where the premium experience is. It's where it always has been, though. And console is widely available. It's easy to use. People don't have to think about it so hard.
But then wait till AR
it'll
comes
get people
along and you
into
got to
it, and
compete
it's
with
still
all this
gonna
other
be-
stuff too. There's going to be specific AR titles.
Still going to be awesome, though.
You're going to choose between HoloLens and VR already, you know, and now to have to choose on different platforms for VR. It's just like, you guys are killing the marketplace. You're killing it. What'll end up happening, I think, is that VR will become a thing where you go to other places to do it, like an amusement park.
Do you mean you're like killing it, or do you mean you're killing it?
No, I mean you are making it die.
I mean, AR has got to get past the fashion hurdle. It's got to be something somebody wants to wear.
HoloLens isn't that bad.
I think it like the fact that
you
HoloLens
wouldn't walk down the street in a HoloLens.
Not yet.
It's also wireless. It's a self-contained system.
Self-contained system.
It is absolutely
Once
wireless.
they get it down to being more like glasses, then it absolutely will be.
Yes.
Right.
And that's a lot of technology to take it from HoloLens to glasses.
It is, but think of it like this, right?
just-
So Pokemon Go is coming out. It came out in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. It's going to be here any day, but if people are having to take their phones around and do all crazy stuff,
Apparently
what happens?
kills your battery.
And it kills your battery. And also people are throwing their phones at Pokemon because they're insane. And breaking their phones, which is kind of funny. It's
immersive.
It's like the Nintendo was like, we can't kill your Wiimotes and your TVs anymore, so let's get you to brick your phones. But imagine how cool that kind of experience will be when you can just like put that on and go around and just see Pokemon as you're walking around.
Yeah, that
like
was-
not having to hold a phone up anywhere. It's gonna be crazy.
That was my first thought about AR is like going out in the world catching Pokemon with it. It's awesome. But honestly, if they put it in a helmet form factor, I don't care. It looks cool. Like
No, it doesn't.
I don't care.
People
Like,
wouldn't even wear Google Glass because
dude.
it looked
Well, here's
ridiculous.
this. On April 5th of this year, I'm looking at a Mashable article where Samsung had been granted a patent in South Korea for contact lenses with a display that projects images directly into the wearer's eyes, and it includes a built-in camera, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Sweet, right?
Injects
Here's the
them into
problem,
your
though.
eyes?
That, like,
What does that
projects,
mean?
projects.
People are getting sued. We have a huge issue with patent trolls in this country already for people that wrote down an idea
Like the
with no
podcast
idea how
guy.
to use it. Like they was like, great, you got a patent for that idea. How
Right.
do you actually make that a product? No
I don't
idea.
know.
Can't do it.
But
Well,
no
at
one
least
else
it's on
can
the
do it either.
roadmap.
It's yeah.
The
that's
dude
true.
who registered the podcast patent, I don't think he had podcasts on his roadmap. Do you know what it's based on, his patent claim? It was a system that he had where people would send him a list of stuff they wanted to hear on the radio, and he would send them audio tapes in the mail. That's what and he said that technology was what podcasts are based on. You can customize what you're listening to. It is like the broadest. Those lawsuits are failing all over the place. Thank fucking God.
Except
Yeah.
in East Texas.
Except, well, all those
a
things.
big thing in East Texas.
Did you see the guy who did a video on patent trolling and he went to
Yeah,
all the law?
didn't
That
know
was
that.
intense.
That was
That was
amazing.
freaky.
Yeah, he went to all the law firms in East Texas that file these patent things, and there's like nobody in any
They're
of these
just empty-
offices.
empty-
They're just
empty
shell
buildings.
corporations not to reveal who's actually taking
Right.
the suit.
There's a one hallway that's got like 12 of them, and
just-
it
they're
knocks
just
on every door.
closets.
Wow,
Nothing.
that's
My favorite
With, like,
part is
paper attached to
he
it, say
also
their name.
discovers that like two of the largest originators of those lawsuits are the sons of the judges in that district that are allowing them to go through.
Fascinating video.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So look that up if you hate patent trolls.
Well, hopefully the contact lens one will be an actual thing, because I feel like that's where it's going. In fact, I get the feeling that, holograms, we see sci-fi movies and we just expect holograms to be in this table and projected upwards, and that's the way it works. But I could actually see them if everyone just has a contact in. It's
You
just
see it.
mutual rendering.
That's the way HoloLens
That's
looks.
HoloLens
That's
is.
HoloLens.
Right, that's like what it'll get to.
You got a little zombie walking around on your
Like, I can-
tabletop.
I can
Right,
put
like it doesn't
something
have
here
to
and
be
everyone else
there
will see
as
it.
long as we all see it.
I can't wait
long as
till
we
we
all
have
have HoloLens,
sync
we will.
issues
Right,
with that
right.
sort of things. Like, oh, no, the guy's not there yet on my eye. Okay, got it.
My
all right.
Wi-Fi.
That just made me think of something which I don't know why I haven't thought of before. Because Adam was saying if I project the hologram on the table, everyone will see it, and I said as long as everyone has a HoloLens. What are there shared VR experiences? Because I have yet to.
There are
multiplayer
multiplayer
ones. Yeah.
games.
Co-op is probably the most fun thing in VR for me.
Yeah.
Because you can go in with your friends and it feels like you're in the same room with them. And if you do have, like in the Achievement Hunter setup, you can use 2 lighthouses for multiple computers. So they all have one space that they share.
What's a great multiplayer title for virtual reality?
Hover Junkers.
Hover Junkers?
Hover
Horde
Junkers.
Z.
That's one I haven't
Okay,
downloaded.
Horde
the
Z is
next
like-
question that's coming, I just want to prepare you, is can I borrow your Vive?
Yeah, right.
Horde Z and Battle Dome are also awesome. Horde Z is like House of the
House of the Dead.
House of the Dead. House
That
of the
is
Dead,
a game.
yeah. Sorry, it's like House of the Dead, but sort of janky.
It's an on-rails
But
zombie
being in
shooter.
VR, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I know we're running out of time. And I know that hourglass is very important to the members of the patch.
Here's the thing, Bernie. Gus ain't here.
There you go.
But I still have kids.
So I'm going to do something that I want you guys to know about because I want to come back and talk about it in a few weeks. We're going to New York. There's a company that put a video out. They're called The Void VR. And it's a company in Utah. And they do this really awesome thing where they build physical sets. And they're just blank. They look like UIL high school sets, right?
I'm going to try and get a video through to the broadcast.
Yeah, you got to look a minute and a half into that video to really see the technology.
Do they map it into the game?
Yes, and then they map the digital environment over that set. So like you lean up against a wall, the wall's there. And you like look around a corner, it's an actual corner. You walk up to a touchpad, it's just a black square in the real world, but in the game it's like got all these holographic displays and you're tapping on it and everything else. So after they put out that video, they partnered with whoever distributes Ghostbusters, and we're going to New York because they have an installation now that's going to last all summer where you go to like a New York City apartment block and you bust Ghost in a Ghostbusters virtual experience. So it's like, and it's all wireless and like free walking.
So cool, dude.
I'm gonna go check it out and then I'll tell you guys what's like. I'm taking the kids to New York on like a vacation, literally to go to New York, but really just so we can do this thing because they're gonna freak out. I just hope Teddy. He's under the age limit, and I'm hoping we can just like coax our way in. But the idea is that we can just lie because kids don't have ID. So
sending this through to
teach
broadcast.
our kids to lie at an early age. That'll be great.
Probably a little bit
He's
late
not
now,
young,
but
he's
I
just
sent
short.
it anyway.
Yeah, so you can check it out on YouTube. It really, the Void VR, it's like got a lot of fluff in the first minute of the video, but once you get to like a minute 15 in that video, you really understand the technology and the way it works.
Yeah, like you get the feeling like 3D printing and VR, like they can come together into something extraordinarily cool.
Yeah.
That's
very
like,
besties.
On the controllers itself, when you look at it in real life, there's nothing on the little part right here. But when you pull it up in the game, it has like a battery indicator and a little hand. It's like just stupid stuff like that, but it's really cool.
Yep.
We live in a really cool future.
We live in a really cool time.
Even
there.
if some of our robots are
Wait till the
attacking some of our
contact
other
lenses come out.
robots.
Still waiting for my flying car. But at least I can pretend I'm in one.
Oh, here's the Ghostbusters thing they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems really like a short video.
That might
That's
have been,
not the
It's
one.
17 seconds long.
Might have been the announcement thingy. Sorry. Maybe I
Yeah,
found
no,
the
that's the
wrong video.
Ghostbusters one. Yeah, that's not the
My
right one.
bad. We'll put the right one in the
We'll
link
link
up.
it.
How
We'll link
about
it.
that?
All right, well, thanks for joining us. We will
Thanks,
see
everybody.
you again next week. Have a
Talk
lovely week.
about more games.
Games.
Do we have Game Club after this?
We do.
Yeah, Game Club after this. We played Selling on Rising.
I'm sorry.
That went well.
Hey, send us some of your reactions if you finish Inside this week. Send us some of your reactions.
Just
and
send us your face.
We'll post some reactions, like some reaction videos of people who have just finished Inside.
All right. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.